Shalom, family. I'll be talking about the physical curses of Yehuda. And I'm going to be referencing the effects of slavery and the emancipation of African American families and family history research by historian Tristan Tolman. And this is going to be a 4-part series of the physical curses. Now, a lot of people say that the curses are over since 2019. But if you're living in disobedience and you're still rejecting Yahuwah and you're not following his commandments, you are still underneath the curses. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the first curse, which is slavery. So in addition to prophecy of being carried away to the Americas on the slave ships, Moses also foretold that a number of physical curses, visually seen misfortunes, would be placed upon the Israelites. In Deuteronomy 28:32, the prophet Moses states that, "Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand." In verse 41, he continues on to say that, "Thou shalt begot sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity." These curses that Moses said would come upon the descendants of Israel fell directly upon our ancestors during the days of slavery. So before our ancestors were shipped to the Americas, they were sold on auction blocks on the slave ports surrounding the west coast of Africa. During these slave auctions, there were instances when entire families were brought out into the coast and then separated through the buyer, where the father and mother would end up on one ship and the sons and daughters on another. During these auctions, the eyes of mothers and fathers would be filled with tears as they watched their sons and daughters aboard ships with their new owners, knowing that they would never see their children again. But this separation of families did not just happen in the slave auctions on the coast of Africa. It also happened right here in America. I'm going to be referencing historian Tristan Tolman's book, The Effects of Slavery and the Emancipation of African American Families and Family History Research. He wrote that slave owners regularly separated black family members from each other by sale. The constant withdrawal of family members, especially men from slave families, damaged and sometimes destroyed slave marriages and families. One great tragedy of the involuntary separation of parents and children was that many of the slave marriages endured long enough to produce children that had been nurtured by both of their parents before being sold away. No slave was immune to the danger of family separation. Mr. Tolman's account of enslaved children being sold off away from their parents to other slave owners is identical to the biblical prophecies of Moses, which stated, "Thou shalt begot sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity." That is in Deuteronomy 28:41. Another curse of the family separation that was prophesied to come on the Israelites was between the man and his woman. In Deuteronomy 28:30, Moses states, "You shall betroth a wife, but another man will violate her." This curse took place on our enslaved forefathers in the West Indies and the Americas. According to various slave narratives, many slave masters would SA their slave's fiance or wife and threaten to shoot him dead if he tried to defend his woman. A visual example of this can be seen in the beginning of the movie The Butler, which is a true story where actor David Banner tries to stand up for his wife, Mariah Carey, to protect her from being SA'd, and his slave owner pulls out his gun and shoots him dead. This was a very common event amongst our forefathers during their days of slavery. In fact, back in those days, a man's wife could become the sex slave of any white man who purchased her. Some women were purchased just to breed children, so the slave master could have more slaves. As a result of these wicked and horrific events that separated the black man and woman, over 1/3 of all slave marriages were destroyed.